My name is Omaima Al Najjar, and I'm the campaign director in Al Qist for Human Rights Organization. I actually never intended to be an activist. It was very spontaneous thing that happened. And then I was just blogging about daily life in Saudi Arabia, and encountering religious police and being harassed by the religious police was pretty much the norms back then. And whenever I encounter a situation, I just write about it. And sometimes I would also discuss what's written in religious books that were being taught at the university. And a lot of the teachings were so misogynist and anti-woman. And I wrote about that. So I never imagined that the blog would get that attention. Some of the blogs just went viral. And apparently, after some time, people became more and more interested about what I write. And I became more motivated to discuss those issues about misogyny, about extremism. I was looking into the national statistics that the Saudi government published about how many women are working in the public sector, like the statistics of women in general. And Saudi women represented 17% of female workforce in Saudi Arabia. And the unemployment rate among Saudi women is extremely high, despite the fact that women are more educated than men and more women pursuing college education than men. Economical empowerment was never discussed. And I think those are one of the big things if Saudi want to talk about empowering women. Why don't they talk about empowering women from an economical perspective that would improve the society as a whole? There's always, the Saudi government is trying to make some reforms, but they always leave a gap or a loophole for the man to use against women. So the society will not be very angry that women are getting too much of freedom. But there are plenty of laws that the Saudi government is making. Another example would be, for example, the age of marriage. The Saudi government is trying to prevent child marriages, but if the judge, or let's say the father, deemed his daughter is mature enough to get married, even if she is not 18 years old, she can get married easily. And a lot of times women don't have a say whom they want to be married to, most of the time. So this is one aspect that is not being discussed. So how is Saudi liberal? How is women are being empowered? Back then, looking into the situation in Saudi Arabia, all the newspapers and the channels and TV were state-owned. And so we really didn't have any option but to use the internet. And so the forums were quite popular. Blogging was relatively popular among Saudis at that time, and it was not highly monitored because I think the Saudi government kind of underestimated how powerful it is to have freedom of speech. So it was not highly monitored, it was underestimated. And they only started monitoring blogs and social media when the bloggers had a reputation and were communicating with international news channels. And they started monitoring what we write. And I used to get threats on my blog, people sending me threats that they will find me, they will kill me, etc. But I would say the high surveillance started when Saudi Qahtani was hired in Twitter to hunt all the activists. And he was basically leading big army of trolls that look around and find whoever says anything against Mohammed bin Salman or against the government, and they would mark the accounts and they would try to hack the accounts either through the email, and a lot of the activist accounts were hacked. But recently we started integrating digital security into our training curriculum in human rights. I wanted a real change in Saudi Arabia. I want women to have the exact same treatment that a man would have, or at least a Western woman would have in Saudi Arabia. where they're not being prosecuted for what they wear, for example. Um, I'd like to see Saudi Arabia becoming modern and a place where women can live in and have, equal rights and seeing in the past years, even though I left Saudi Arabia, but I see a lot of women escaping as well, becoming refugees in other countries. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see a lot of women escaping the country and having to leave Saudi Arabia because they were forced into getting married or um, escaping domestic violence. I believe that those problems are solvable and they can resolve. And I kind of believe that Saudi Arabia can change and become a better place. So I believe that it can change. That's why I'm motivated still